Greetings, mortals, and welcome back to the Blindness of Eternity. When last we left off, we had just descended into the pit, and we are hopefully going to be finishing up today. We have whatever this final dungeon area is. I don't think we can go back, and so I would presume that it shouldn't take much more than an hour to finish things off from here, unless there's more to do after we get out of here. But that, I doubt that. This seems like it's going toward
got it.
I'll see what I can find.
Favorable end in that regard.
Would
So
you
there's
look
a trap
at
here,
this?
imagine that. Can we disarm that? Millennium's worth. Millennia, I think. Millennium's worth of dust. Fills in the cracks and crevices of the skeletal relief. So yeah, I think we're just like straight into the boss now. Save this. My quick save is over. Oh yeah, because I'm loading the video. That's
Would you look at this?
Whoa, hello. It's just random shade.
No prop.
Okay, I'm just gonna pull her back, so we can take unnecessary damage here. Nice. Okay, so it grazed the dare for 2 damage. It's death. So we're gonna save this, and we're just gonna go see if we can find any more of these traps. Can I go through here? I didn't even check.
Be cautious. Be constant.
This looks like something out of Planescape Torment. Village tugs at your essence. A pulse from the world itself moves through it.
Useless.
Oh shit. Oh god. We've got ads. So we've got 2 packs here. Shouldn't be too bad. Let's get beautiful. Oh, there's an automata there. So let's do some aiming. So we can just go ahead and knock some of these guys out. Let's fight best not to. So let's use a bless on these guys. Holy crap, she's taking a lot of damage. And Aldrea was attacking the wrong target. She was just
Come on, Paladina,
focused on
hang in
somewhere
there.
over here. Wow, these things are the ranged attacks, man. I didn't even know that specters had ranged attacks.
Your thoughts must look.
We're gonna have a lot of people die. A lot of people are gonna go down because of fighting 2 packs here.
Let's go.
Like, for whatever reason, the specters have ranged attacks, even though I don't think I've ever seen specters with ranged attacks. They've only been able to attack me. I'm just gonna reload because I've taken way too much damage here. Just gonna get it done a little better. But yeah, I'm actually quite surprised that that was so intense. Even with it being 2 packs, they're just specters, but for whatever reason. I just didn't have the... Didn't have the damage output I was looking for. Very stuff.
Varanthus!
After us.
So now we're just gonna pull her in. And use this. So we're gonna pull him away. Too late.
Where is this?
So those guys are toast. There you go. These guys. That guy, there's no way that Spectre can see him. Like, seriously?
Yeah.
He's a million miles away. It's fine. Okay, so we dealt with that one. Stealth up.
Quickly and quietly. Yeah.
How big is this place? It's a reasonably large location. So there's a thing over here that I probably have to utilize in some way. Okay, so we're gonna send her in,
Yeah.
send him out. So I'm just gonna pump this right now. That.
Yeah.
Not forward yet.
That's it!
Just keep on keeping on. So we'll just go ahead and knock it over.
That's it!
healed again. Goodness. Let's just spam those heals. Dang it, healed again.
I wish you.
This one is gonna die. Now, on the plus side, I think that they are casting heals on each other. So I think that once we get the first one down, it's basically indicative that they have run out of heals for the entire pack. Now. The ancient Audra still bears the impression of 1,000 souls broken upon it. Your soul burns with remembered suffering.
And what does the flame reveal?
Okay, so...
Would you look at this?
Daybreak, unique morning star. Daybreak was the product of careful engineering of the Animancer from Solace Vale. Hoping to create a defense against blights and phantoms that often plagued neighboring villages, he developed a morning star that was especially effective against such nightmarish beings. Unfortunately, he died before he could make more. Even though he'd had no involvement in the early experiments with the Hollowborn, he was murdered by one of the many lynch mobs that formed after the appearance of the first wings. This has +3 movement speed built in. I like it. Eldrea, what are your boots? I think I already have this effect on something else. I thought I had the flanking bonus on something else as well. Oh, I didn't equip this. Where is it? I got a piece of armor that I wanted to equip that I never actually thought I could equip. Is this... No, this is Alot's. Is it in my stash? Is it in somebody else's inventory? I think it's in someone else's inventory. Well, that's really crappy, actually. Huh. Well, so let's also give him this buff then. I think that this little Savior is probably substantially better than that. Doesn't look like it is. Oh, because he has a so this has +5 to all defense. That's pretty good. And the question is, do I want to increase my movement speed at the cost of my flanking damage? I don't think so. I don't think that's a good bargain. So we're just gonna skip out on that. And Oh. So if I walk into this, it seems to completely heal my party. Like, the health as well, not just their endurance. So that's interesting. So I can walk into that in order to heal. Oh, hello. There it is. And that actually changes things a lot. If I'm able to do that, then I can just kind of waste my HP a bit. You gonna go ahead and do that? That thing we talked about, or we're gonna do that? So. All set. We will save the game, and then we will send Eldrea out front again.
My thoughts will be as silent as my feet.
She is going to pull out her
Sword.
Did that seriously knock over neither of them? Ouch. Blast as well. I should be casting Blast basically every fight. I don't remember how much Blast does. Oh, it's actually plus 10% damage in addition to the accuracy. I thought it was just the accuracy. But that plus 10% damage is pretty big too.
I shall be discreet.
Would you look at this?
Okay, so we can't disarm this one. We'll have to be careful moving through here. So we have a cutscene here. The column of Adra rises above you, stoic and silent, its rich layers a measuring stick from the passing of the ages. It feels as if to you as a thick block of ice, and you perceive buried beneath its core a dim, flickering flame, all but extinguished yet preserved against the ravages of the elements. As you approach, the flame seems to steady and draw strength, and the layers separating it from you melt away, and you are bathed in its glow, a bright beacon of the glow. The glow seems to fade as though you have adjusted to its intensity. And where it was, Eovar seeps into existence, an idyllic shape hovering above the moist prison floor. Although ageless, she appears somehow different to you now, a slight stoop in her carriage perhaps, or a trace of sunkenness in her eyes. There's a broad scar across her face, fibrous and wormy, where flames once lapped, unhealed even in death.
Hello, sister. It has truly been ages.
Yeah, no shit.
You are so different now from who you were then, yet much remains the same. Old troubles with a new face. What is it that has brought you here?
Number 5 is horrible. I'm gonna go with number 2.
A gallant gesture, if a bit misguided. And yet I suspect there is more to this than you have said. I can only guess your presence here has something to do with Theos. The energy of this place changes when he is near. I don't know what he has done, but I do know of the souls that pass through here now. They do not come by choice.
For the month?
After all this time, he would still stand against the tide. I will tell you what I remember. I can see his influence, still hanging like a weight about your neck. So it always was. He had inspired something in you. We spoke of him the last time you were here also. It was just after the trial. You were agitated. I think because you started to consider that what I was teaching may have been true.
Yovara's mouth tightens and her brow furrows a look of pity. Her eyes shift back and forth between each of yours as if looking for something that would help her decide whether to speak.
That the gods aren't real.
Ha ha ha! Of course not, it all makes sense now.
I dreaded the idea from the moment the Delimgon suggested it. And yet, it almost feels like a relief. She's not serious.
Perhaps not to her. Many are those whom the gods have scorned. This is petty retribution.
What I taught was that the gods whose faith we had been spreading were not gods at all, but something else entirely. Something created by people.
Number one.
They were conceived by Engwith, a society of high minds and broad concerns. Theos' people. In their time, every people worshipped its own gods. Sometimes they warred over it. After a few wars of their own, the Engwithans sought an end to it. They devoted all their energy to finding the true creators. Generation after generation, they prodded and worked the stitching of the world and unlocked its secrets. One day, they found an answer. Except the answer was no answer at all. There were no gods to be found. Or if there ever were, they were gone. It shook them, this finding. If they could discover this on their own, how long until others would? How long before war and chaos reigned over a world without consequence? But they had mastered many things in their pursuit of these answers. And with their mastery, they crafted their own gods to fill the void, and sent missionaries to the corners of the world to spread their faith.
That is very interesting.
The Engwithan missionaries all knew it, but they never told the rest of us. They meant it to be a secret that died with them. And in the end, they allowed their bloodlines to fade from memory. I had been assigned to join a few of them at a temple. I found the door to their chambers closed, but the room was stone and the door thin. Their voices carried. I heard enough. I investigated the things they spoke of, and everything was there, just as they said it'd be.
Later on, after I left the Order, a few Engwithans found my words persuasive and joined my cause. They revealed what I did not already know.
I never thought of it as fate, but I think you are right to call it that. Let the world see. Let them decide what to do. That was my faith. I became a missionary because the gods brought me hope that I wanted to bring to others. For a time, the truth sent me to a dark place. Then the day came when I realized nothing had changed, that I still had a purpose, and the purpose was the same and it was worth living for. I began questioning the other missionaries in public, exposing their parlor tricks. In time, their following became mine. You asked me this once before. Nothing I can say would be any proof and it may be certainty your soul craves. Resolution. But if you are bound for the same place Theos directs these souls, you will see for yourself, as you once did. Everyone faces this truth at one time or another. Few confront it. Few have the stomach to ask what if. And in avoiding the question, they deny themselves an identity of their own.
Yovara scans her audience in silence, her eyes thoughtful, lingering on each member of your company in turn, finding interest in things unseen.
What if all the tragedy, all the persecution, came in defense of an imposter?
But that's not... That can't be right. Aethys, he's done miracles for people.
The power of the gods is undeniable. The truth of the story they weave is not. What if it were forbidden knowledge rather than fault that earned your doom? What of your guilt?
Margren set a path for me. She is fickle and cruel, but that is how she teaches. You know nothing of the fires that have shaped me.
And what if the fires themselves were lies? Lies you told yourself to bridge the gap between experience and truth. What if you had always been alone, without guidance?
Well, as poorly as I've chosen my guides, I suppose it would be a comfort to know that I'm free of them.
The freedom has always been. It was the guidance that was the illusion. What if even mastery over all things cannot answer the most basic of questions?
I stopped asking those questions long ago. It is enough to care for those we love in the time we have in this life.
What if the cycle of birth and death is nothing more than a tool of endless preoccupation?
Talking silently. What if we can be assured of nothing? So if we can be assured of nothing, this is sort of like a weird question. If we can be assured of nothing, I'm gonna go with number one because that honestly sounds like an Altarea sort of thing. Of it doesn't matter how the world is. What matters is how the world will be when I'm done with it. That seems to be an Altarea sort of mentality. Varus, we find purpose in ourselves and the people in our lives.
And in the lives we create, is this not the essence of motherhood? To create, cherish, nurture, to give of yourself for the sake of another.
There is bliss to be found in the things we create, but sorrow as well. Every creation bears the imperfections of its creator, and its creator's creator. Art and song are creations, but so are weapons and lies. We must be careful that our creations do not consume us. I ask these things not to trouble you, but to show why they must be confronted. No answer is simple, but somewhere between them all lies a truth so beautiful, not even a god could conceive it. Do we not owe ourselves a chance to find our part in it?
I'm gonna go with number one.
If that is truly what you believe, then you are a far different person than the one I knew. I've been alone here with my thoughts for so long now. I've found peace with my failures, and with my punishment. I no longer curse fate for what might have been. But there is one thing that has clawed and scraped at my mind all these years. One thing that will not be put to rest until I know. Until I understand. I need to know why you chose to remain with the Inquisition. even after you'd learned the truth. Do you remember?
Let's see. Trying to think. The problem is that the previous life doesn't match up with the personality of Aldrea at all, because she would never be someone's henchman. So I'm trying to think of something that sounds reasonable for someone who's perhaps similar to Aldrea, but not truly Aldrea. I am tempted to go with number 4. I'm gonna go with number 4 because that seems like that seems like the thing that would be the closest. If you were gonna create a character that was similar to Aldrea, but not as confident, then number 4 would be the potential. If you lacked the absolute arrogance of Aldrea, there is no glory for Aldrea other than just being herself. But if you were to take that away, that level of confidence, you would then have a character who is obsessed with power, and I think that would work. So let's go with number 4.
Was it really all for that? The esteem of the Inquisition? Good. Good. The things I taught, the things I believed, I needed to hear that. I needed to know it wasn't because...
I'm gonna go with 3 because I don't know what Julian's done. I needed to know it wasn't because after everything you'd learned, you'd still rather believe in a lie. If that is the conclusion people reach once they know everything, then my purpose has been a mistake. I'm gonna go number 1.
I've always looked up to you, since we were children. You had heard both sides, seen everything. If not you, then who?
No, number 2. Because I do see your point.
I'm aware of the folly of trying to learn so much from so little. I've had time to consider that in all its facets. But in the end, it was all I had. Even knowing what you've told me, some part of me knows it doesn't truly answer what I wished to know, nor will an eternity of silent contemplation. I will have only my guesses and suspicions, and that will have to do. And what of your understanding of our past? Are you at ease with the choice you made?
Let's see. I don't like any of these options because Aldrea would be disgusted to know that her soul had a mewling weakling like that. Like that's what her soul was in a previous life. She would be disgusted. So She wouldn't go with number 3 because shirking responsibility for something is not something that she would ever do. So I have to go with number 1, but she would be much more hostile about it. Not hostile toward her, hostile toward herself. Like, hostile in the sense of, like, you know, again, using words like yielding, weakling, and stuff like that to refer to her previous thing, so...
I have always forgiven you. Whatever your reason, no quarrel of ideas can sever ties of blood and essence. No parting of ways can erase memories of times without worry. Times when even without gods, we were never truly alone. At first I thought this might be the source of your soul's anguish. But now I see I was mistaken. You are not divided on this matter. You have put it behind you. It is with Theos that your agony lies, in sun and shadow. Your questions are not for me, but for him. And it may be that only an answer from the mouth of Theos himself will satisfy your needs. Yet if there is anything I can tell you that would be of use, ask and you shall know.
Any other one?
In a matter of speaking, this is Braeth Yamen, the court of the penitents. Souls are confined here until they repent. They must beg the forgiveness of a god, pledge their soul to them, and they will be lifted from this place to the world above. In truth, they receive leniency, but not true mercy. The spite of Woodica is eternal. They linger above, at the side of the old court, and are not permitted to leave the island, forever severed from the cycle. This prison was full once in the days of the Inquisition, but time weathers all things, even will. I'm the only tenant who remains. Yet, I feel their presence strongly now, as it was in the beginning. You have brought many of them here. They cry out for the judgment of Theos. You have struck some bargain with the gods, then.
Go with number 1.
They aid you because they would bend you to their own purposes. Engwith built gods from ideals, and an ideal on its own is a grotesque and vicious thing. But these souls, these forgiven the gods have bequeathed you like chattel. They were loyal followers in life. They will be with you to the very end.
Go with number 2. So... I can tell you what I believe, but again, it would be no proof. I have only what I have seen and what others have told me about it. There's only one man who can tell you now, who knows for a certainty, and you will face him soon enough. I will leave you to see it for yourself, make your own judgments. Better for your soul that way, I think. 3, I guess. I speak no language now but the wordless expression of the spirit. It is through my connection to you that I am able to draw upon your words and form them as my own. 4.
I could not say for sure, but you have been to Sun and Shadow before, and it came at a crossroads in your life, when much of what you knew had been upended. I have to believe it will come to you there. Your concerns then were of loyalty and trust and the gods. Everything I told you seemed to send you further into doubt. His words mattered to you when you knew him then. After you and I spoke, you went immediately to seek him out. Perhaps you simply sought confirmation from the man you trusted. If something from that time still troubles you, it may be something he told you then, or refused to tell you. He keeps secrets better than any in this world.
5, I guess.
He cares only for the secret he keeps locked away. He destroys anyone who might discover it, no matter their chances. That's why he's always favored Woodica. It isn't in her love of promises or justice. It's her disregard for the rules. Her willingness to do what is necessary. To Theos, she's not a deity, but an ally with which to conspire. When her power waxes, she does as she pleases with this realm, as well as hers. And she wants that secret guarded as much as he. If Theos succeeds, there will be a shift in the balance of power among the gods. Woodica was vanquished once, when the other gods decided she had gone too far, and her power diminished. With this infusion, there is no telling what she will do. The only certainty is that there will be chaos in their realm, as well as ours. You will not find a more resolute being on all of Eora. There is no offer you could make, nor spell you could cast, nor pain you could inflict that would make him reveal what he hides. But I see you have become a watcher in this life. Perhaps in defeat, when he can no longer defend himself, you might learn something from him.
Okay, I think that number 7 is the last one.
Theos will not wait for you. If you do not catch up to him now, you may never find him again.
It's weird. I don't like. All 3 of these are really weird options. I'm gonna go with number 4.
It's a cruel fate to waste all this time to be reunited with my only sister, only to be forced to part soon after. But then, what is life but a series of brief encounters with those we love? If ever we should meet again, in this life or any other, I hope to find you at peace.
So, unfortunately, I don't have a mechanism for dealing with certain things. I guess I probably should have tried jumping down without the god's assistance
Sure.
and just confirmed that it would result in me dying horribly. But
So, it's true. The gods are a sham that people have followed for thousands of years.
Yeah.
oh, let's see what he has to say. Steps to the wheel. What is steps to the wheel? Watcher gives his or foes a glimpse into the afterlife. Ooh, paralyzing them. This is arrest, AoE, paralyzation, and paralyze is really short duration though, so that's
Hey.
crappy ability.
Well, doesn't that just beat all? Here I was, wondering all this time whether all these terrible things were people's fault or the gods. Turns out they might be the same thing. Wonder how things would have gone different 15 years ago if the Raid Sarens had been told their god was made in some forge or kiln someplace. Would we still have gone to war?
I don't know if they would have been. The original war, I think, was a war of rebellion that was necessary, but then he kicked it up a notch. I'm gonna go with number 1.
Now, I could see the rebellion still happening, but I don't know that they would have invaded.
Exactly.
I don't know. When Woden left for war, we, had a fight. As brothers will. About him going off to war. He was set on it. My parents warned him. They said you get a new country with every trip across the border, but your god, you only get the one. Me? I didn't know who was right. All I knew was I didn't want him to go. It's the same for families as it is for gods. You only get the one. I said every vicious thing I could think of, trying to change his mind. He brushed it off. Just got me madder, of course, him being so calm. He said I should come with him, but he'd understand if I didn't want to. I told him he'd better be able to face his god one day and answer for what he'd done. He said he'd keep that in mind. And then, he was gone. By the time I'd cooled off, months had passed. One morning it dawns on me that my brother always knew better than me. If he was so sure of what he was doing, then I should be there with him. I packed my things and was on the road that same morning. Of course, what I didn't know then was he'd already changed his mind. By that time, he was dead on that field.
Field number 2.
If I'd have left with him, we'd both be dead, so I don't know why I bothered thinking about it. I found my own way in the end, and it wasn't my brother's and it wasn't my god's. I don't know if it was right, but I couldn't abide what Wydwin was doing to his own, god or not. I don't regret it. Whether Wydwin was Aothis, well, it hardly seems to matter after what we just heard. And all these questions I've been trying to figure out. I think I just miss my brother. Crossed my mind. You live in a place like Gilded Vale. You don't have a whole lot else to do other than think about things you don't want to think about. I hope that wasn't it. I hope he went there because it's what he thought was right. But it seems I'm not meant to know. Still one more mess we gotta straighten out. Come on then. I still owe you one.
Does he owe one? Oh, now Alon wants to talk to me. He didn't want to talk to me before. I wonder if it'll just go through all the different characters
Yes.
wanting to talk to me.
We've been lied to. Our whole lives, and many lives before that. And it's led us to put our faith in a pantheon of gods that never deserved it in the first place.
I'm gonna go with number 2. Eldrea would be very obsessed
You're
with
right.
Bruce.
People will be better off finding direction on their own than following this farce. Besides, the gods haven't exactly done much to prevent us from slaughtering each other. If anything, they've only given us more pretenses for doing so. Seems like that's all they've been doing of late. I've also been thinking, there won't be much left of Theos by the time you're done with him, if I know how you operate. That will leave the leaden key headless. Perhaps it's best it stays that way.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, isn't the whole point of what we're doing to destroy that organization?
Then let's face Theos. When this is all over, I'll make sure that no one is able to commit his abuses again.
Eldrea would have no interest in an organization of this nature hiding in the shadows and all that stuff. She leads by example and through to an extent sheer force. Like, she's the kind of person where you don't have to worry about her having too many subtle manipulations. Not because she has anything against subtle manipulations, but because she is confident in her ability to win in the light of day, so to speak. She doesn't need
Got these ruins, like a
against
great
us.
grave for a soul. My eyes are peeled.
This is a very dark place.
full of surprises, aren't you?
Many spirits stir here, edged with anger, violence.
Can you do that again? I had something in my eye. I missed most of it.
That's a lot of experience, too. So let's see here. I wonder if you could have just come down here without doing anything with the deities. Now I'm kind of annoyed myself for not having clicked the button and made sure that it just kills me. More boots of speed. Whip and shade. It's a new type of shade.
You can trust me. I'll let
Ooh, she crit.
Sure.
Not bad.
Time to see and not be seen.
Oh. Oh, that's good. Turn on this over. Let's bring everybody up here. Oh my goodness, that's a shade. Pain.
That's not very helpful.
So let's get everybody to use this one. Get her out. Anyway. Tail. She can't move. For whatever reason, she can't stand here. Oh, because there's this tail here, so she can't walk past it. So we're just gonna That's a shadow drink.
It's no use.
Okay, good. So this thing's prone. It's not prone for very long. This tail is really just causing problems for me.
That's not very helpful.
So this thing's been knocked prone.
Ah.
So this thing's blind. And it's going to be prone against him. Should be relatively smooth from here. Okay, so we've dealt with the angry dead.
No
set
problem.
of Angry Dead at any rate.
I shall be discreet.
I can try it. I mean, Aldrea has plenty of distance on her comes to. Get a running stop, and as you sail over the gap, you risk a quick look beneath you and see an abandoned city glowing beneath you. I've ever seen this.
Eh? Sure.
Okay, so that's suboptimal.
Up.
Power unit charges one as well. These three.
Quick.
Spellcasting. Oh my goodness. So there's that Shadow Drake again. So let's see if we can knock it up and around. If I can deal with just the little shade things first, that would be optimal. So that, well, everybody's prone except this one. Now we need to use blind. Right. Second effect works. Doesn't seem to do anything. Something blinded, that thing is not. So this will be on. No, it's not. Okay, so this thing's prone for 16 seconds. Exactly what we need. Let's just pop this. Give everyone a nice boost.
Hell's
Okay, so that thing's about to get back up again. We wanna...
This one repels my.
There we go. So that went all over. 12 more seconds, and this time it should just go down.
What?
That's not very
Whoop. Okay. Scary. So that's my time
This one
up. But I don't think I want to end while I'm in this place. Let's attacking. Not who I want it to be. Okay, so this thing is still alive. And I failed to get any crowd control on it. I need to pull her out. Because as of right now, we're still looking at a very, very healthy Drake thing. There we go. Whew. Okay. I hope that we find another one of those heal panels. Says court.
They shall see nothing.